Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mahendra. I work as Salesforce architect at TIAA. I have got over 13 years of experience working into Salesforce ecosystem. So today we are going to talk about Salesforce data architect. We are going to understand the key responsibilities of a data architect, and let's get started with the definition. A Salesforce data architect is responsible for designing, managing, and optimizing the structure, storage, quality, and flow of the data across the Salesforce ecosystem. So, unlike a developer who focuses on implementation, a data architect is strategic, thinking about data at scale, governance, compliance, and integration across systems. So, we are going to understand each and every term which I have used in this particular definition, when we go to the upcoming slides. But in a nutshell, data architect is responsible, for designing the data model, just making sure that it should not break or slow down when the data grows. It also designs the integration strategies, when integrating with the third party applications. So, moving on, let's go to the next slide and let's try to understand the responsibilities of a Salesforce data architect. So, first one is data modeling and architecture. So, the architect defines the data model, you know what all custom objects are required to be created, whether to create a master data relationship or a lookup relationship, what all fields to create, formula fields or roll up summary fields or text field, big objects. So all these decisions are taken by the data architect just to ensure the scalability and performance of the entire architecture, so it should not slow down or break when the data grows. So, a data architect mainly uses a schema builder tool to visualize the existing data model, you know, just to visualize the entity relationships which the existing schema has, right? And they mainly use Lucid charts, to prepare this model offline and just to design the entire data model offline. Next, moving on to the next responsibility, which is data quality management. So, data architect, he or she implements validation rules, duplicate management, and field level data hygiene, right? So just to make sure that the fields which are created on a standard object or a custom object store the data which makes sense. I mean, for example, let's say there's a email field, right? So it's supposed to store email address, so it must contain at the rate symbol when the user inputs the data, right? So data architect defines and monitors data quality KPIs. It's another important thing to note. Moving on, large data volume strategy. So it is also one of the important responsibilities of a Salesforce data architect. System which is being designed should be able to manage millions of records, without performance issues. I mean, data architect, he has to understand and mitigate data skews, ownership skews, and indexing limits, right? So, what is a data skew? What does it mean is like when there's a parent which has a lot of child records under it, then the data skew condition arises. So, what it can cause is when a particular automation is running over a child record or if we have integration with third party application and when it's trying to update the child record or a parent record, so it might cause a lot of errors when there are more than the desired number of children under a particular parent. Ownership queue could be like when a parent sorry when a particular owner is owning more than desired number of records under it. So when that particular person moves or leaves the organization, so it can cause a lot of issues to manage that particular data. So mainly data architect uses or creates custom index. They can get created skinny tables by contacting to Salesforce team, and they mainly use big objects as well, right? So moving on, next responsibility could be data governance and compliance. So the data architect has to ensure compliance with data regulations such as GDPR, HIPAA. So there could be, many government regulation, industry specific regulations. So data architect, he or she has to keep in mind those regulations while designing data strategy. So to make sure they are in compliance with those regulations, they need to utilize Salesforce Shield, they need to utilize audit trail, monitoring, right? And they have to maintain or manage data retention policies and encryption strategies to, make sure the data governance or compliance is being respected. Moving on to the next slide, next responsibility is master data management. So it's important to identify a source of truth for key entities, for example, customers, products. So in your ecosystem, there could be multiple applications where customer data or product data is being generated or maintained, right? So there could be conflict, and it is very important to identify which source is authentic or which source is master of or a golden source for that particular information. And also it's important to manage cross org or cross cloud identities, right, which enables 360-degree customer view through integration. So consider data cloud, for example, it's integrated with multiple systems such as Salesforce, Marketing Cloud, and other social media platform, right? It can get data from all those platform and can come up with the customer data. It can be a customer data platform, right? It can be a it can provide 360-degree customer view. So consolidating customer records from multiple system into a golden record, it's very important for a data architect to keep in mind. Next responsibility could be data integration and ETL, right? So whether to design a real time or batch data flows, you know when we are integrating multiple system with Salesforce with the help of tools like MuleSoft, Informatica, Talent, or Salesforce Connect. So MuleSoft basically it's important when the third party application it cannot directly consume the Salesforce API, so they can use MuleSoft. Informatica can be used as a one of the ETL tool, right? Or Talent can be used as one of the ETL tools. Salesforce Connect, it's mainly used to, when you want to connect with a particular third party application and you don't want to store the data in Salesforce, right? You want to use external objects. So in that case, you can go ahead with Salesforce Connect. It's important to understand the chain data capture, when to use, chain data capture, platform events, and external objects, right? So real world example could be syncing Salesforce with an external ERP system every hour. So it's important to understand the volume of data which is getting synced, or whether we we actually need to sync that data, or we can use external objects to just query that particular data from third party application from Salesforce. So this is one of the key responsibility of a data architect. Next is data migration and lifecycle management. So it's important to plan and execute data migrations from legacy systems and come up with a proper strategy so that it scales beautifully when the system grows. Defining lifecycle policies such as archiving, purging, sandboxing, right? So purging, while the data which is not relevant or which can be deleted. So it's important for data architect to identify that data and purge that. Sandbox seeding is also very important when, for example, for a developer sandbox or developer pro sandbox, when you refresh the sandboxes from production, it does not come with any data. So when you want any real time data, you can use Copado or any other tool to bring that in from your production environment into your developer sandboxes. Also ensuring data integrating through transformation and load processes, it's very important to maintain the data integrity when you load data from the third party applications. So a developer can use data loader IO or TL scripts, or they can also consume APIs to facilitate these integrations. Okay, so at the end we'll try to understand how a data architect collaborates with other stakeholders. So mainly a data architect works with business analysts to understand the requirements. Then he or she guides the developer on data model and integrations, which integration strategy to use, which integration pattern to use. So they have to work with the developers to figure that out. Also, data architect consult with the security architects for compliance needs, right? And they align with the enterprise architect on overall data strategy. So that's all for today, guys. Please let me know with your comments. I mean, the feedback on this particular video. If you have any question, you can post that. I'll try to answer those questions. Right. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks. Bye.